Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner. We're on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily and I'm with Alun.
Oh, hang on a minute. What's this development?
The cockerel?
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a sound effect.
Exactly, it's perfect. That's radio. You've arrived. And also because we're in the morning, you herald a new day. I see myself as the farmer and I feel you're on my fence.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know what my role is in this strange tragedy on the barnyard.
Well, I imagine you could handle a churn if pushed.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, anyway, so I spent the whole evening watching Andy Murray.
Oh, I watched some of that.
Well, the whole nation, they stopped the BBC. BBC One virtually closed down for Andy Murray. And there's a bit, every now and again, Sue Barker would come in and explain that if you'd just tuned in for a certain programme, it wasn't happening.
It's like 1983, Sue Barker. I'm glad she still gets to work, Frank.
I love Sue Barker.
Yeah.
There's a bit where she said, if you've tuned in expecting to see EastEnders, maybe you should reevaluate your life. It's Friday night. You've tuned in especially. Oh, I mean, OK, if it's on, you could hear people saying, Sue, leave it. No, I know what I'm doing. OK, if it's on, fair enough, watch it. But to tune in specifically, and then to be crestfallen because we're watching a major sporting event. I mean, come on, you people. Sue, leave it. Will you get off my shoulder? It went on like that for ages. But I tell you what, I watched that game, and I'm no expert, but I watched that game. I was on my own, and it gave me a bit of scope to concentrate and to do a bit of analysis. Mm-hmm. And I am not certain, but I would say I am 99% sure now that Andy Murray's mom and his girlfriend do not get on.
Oh, I love this.
No, I was watching them in the box.
Don't you love a shot of the box? I love that.
I felt there was an iron curtain between old Ma Murray, as I believe she's called on the circuit, and the beautiful model.
Kim Sears.
What's she called?
Kim Sears. Great hair.
Is that what she's called?
Yeah.
Kim Sears?
Yeah. Quite Middleton, I think. Don't you?
Oh, I know what you mean, but she's sandy-haired.
Okay.
But there was a bit, that Murray, he's one contribution, really, to popular culture, is to do a little punch with his right hand and go, come on! Mm-hmm. That's all he ever, that's it. I mean, if I was going to do that, G myself up a lot, I'd come up with some alternatives. So you could spin him around a bit, Occasionally go, oh, yes! Or, ha-ha! And then people are thinking, oh, which one's it going to be this time? I see the fist going, but which one, on the wheel of remarks spinning in his head, where will it stop? It'd be like a fabulous exclamation roulette. But it's always come, and there was a bit when they shot the mom, and the mom obviously feeling, who wants to sit next to a model? In the box,
especially not
anyway.
in that pink blazer.
Especially not one who's taken her son away from her after all she's given her entire life. She carried him for 9 months, and ever since has always been putting him as a priority in her life. And now some strumpet turns up and takes him away from her, turning him against her behind her back. And the model does a little punch and goes, "Come on," like that, Murray style. And the mother looked absolute. That is our thing! That's our family thing! Come here! And you do the little punch and say, come on, who the hell do you... Oh, it was a tense moment.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
So, look, what about Charlie Sheen?
What? It's no big deal. Quit panicking.
It's the best thing ever. The interview, I recommend any of you to listen to the interview he does with a bloke called Alex Jones. Not Alex Jones. Not
Ben Jones either.
No, but no, with Alex.
Oh, Alex
not
Jones,
One Show.
yes.
I'd love Charlie Sheen on the One Show.
He should be on all the shows now.
Yeah, I wish he'd come in here now. Can you imagine what the place would be like now? We'd be huddled in one corner, terrified. Anyway, what's happened to him? If you imagine that Hollywood stars are a bit like the Daleks, in the centre of every Dalek there's a black oozing slime, which is what an actual Dalek is, and everything around it is actually the armoury.
Yeah, in the Five Doctors you see a Dalek exploded and you see the thing inside.
Oh, I forgot that bit.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Well, Charlie Sheen, if you imagine that every Hollywood star has a black, slimy unbearableness inside them, Charlie Sheen has decided to dispense with the outer casing and let it all out. So when he speaks, I think Hollywood speaks.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's really been spectacular. There's a level of arrogance beyond arrogance. I think...
Sorry, didn't make the rules. Oops.
If maybe Derek Acora could arrange this, if Adolf Hitler could hear that interview, I think Adolf Hitler would say of Charlie Sheen, he's a bit full of himself.
Yeah. Sounds like a bit of an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, some of the stuff he says. When he says, are you going to marry? And he says, I leave marriage to amateurs and the Bible grippers. And then he says, the Bible grippers.
Why does he repeat it?
Because it's so good, he thinks I'll say that twice. And, it's...
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, my favourite quote is that he talks about something that someone... he does that people don't understand, and he goes, "Oh wait, can't process it, losers, winning, goodbye." And the whole thing is about how everyone's life is about their ugly wives and their ugly children, and they should sit back and just watch the spectacular show. I mean, I know there are ugly children, but one doesn't refer to them.
Well, exactly. He's not looking so hot himself now.
Well, according to the bloke who interviewed him, he's the most sycophantic interviewer.
He was unbelievable, wasn't he?
I've heard myself lapse into I absolutely love your show a few times, and I don't love myself for it, but this bloke, Charlie Sheen, I don't want to say anything illegal, but I wouldn't be surprised to find that he was aided by various things.
Well, yeah.
He was completely wired, it sounded like, and this bloke said, you know, Charlie, I've never seen you so energised. It's a beautiful way of putting it.
No, he's not on the stuff anymore. He said he's healed
just energised.
He's healed himself with his brain.
He's working out twice a day as well.
Yeah, what is he working out, though? Where his dealers got to?
I liked it when Alex Jones also said, they say you don't have a hernia. You know what? I've seen your hernia.
Yeah, I didn't like that bit.
No, I didn't.
This guy, his whole thing was, oh, well, I've been to your house. Me and you were really good friends. Oh, it's I say, it is Hollywood. If you want to, don't watch the Oscars, listen to this instead. In case you don't know, he's gone off. He's gone off on holiday, hasn't he?
With the crew, he calls.
When I say he's gone off on holiday, what is the rest of his life? Where do you go to be more relaxed and wild than he is at home?
I think you'll find he's gone off with two smoking haddies.
Well, he's taken a porn star, as she's described. I hope that's not too dismissive of what she does for a living. Brie Olsen.
Actress.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, but I understand porn stars never use their real names. They, you know...
Oh.
Who would call themselves Brie in that line of
Avoid
work?
cheese.
Yeah, any cheese reference.
Anything that's going to go off.
Yeah, just don't even think about it. And also, he's taken his nanny... He's got I think he's got twins that are 2 years old. He's obviously heard of people taking their nanny on holiday and thought that's quite a good idea. They include the children in that. They don't take the nanny on holiday and leave the children.
Not if they're Gareth's parents, they don't.
What are they in? Are they in a skip?
No, he calls them the goddesses, and he said that what they have, they're not married. What they have is a marriage of the heart.
Yeah, hearts. He corrects himself because there's three of them. Yeah, so there's him and two women on holiday. Well, it could work, I suppose. Anyway, I very much... I very much recommend you listen to the chart. I've got an even better jingle than that. Listen to this.
Oh, Mr. Sheen. Oh, Mr. Sheen.
Yes, that's what Alex Jones should have played throughout every time he said something terrible, like, don't make the rules, oops.
Oh, Mr. Sheen.
It would have been a better interview.
Winner rhymes with winner.
Yes.
That'd be us.
Is that what he said? Winner rhymes with winner.
Yeah. He says winning anyone rhymes with winning.
I'll tell you what, I think he's losing it.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Frank, we couldn't sleep. It was 4 a.m. and we opened a bottle of wine. Who said that this week? That's my little quiz to get you into my favourite news story.
We couldn't sleep. It was 4 a.m.
and we opened a bottle of wine. Who said that this week?
4 a.m.
We couldn't sleep. It was 4 a.m. Was it the Gaddafi family?
Gaddafi.
Open it. Let's open a bottle of wine. We're getting bombed. Let's get bombed in every meeting.
Get off my scarf.
Don't stand on my brown scarf. Are you crazy? Yes, it was the Euro lottery people.
The lotto winners. Colin and Christine Weir.
The Weirs, yes.
No relation to Peter, the New Zealand director.
No.
Peter Weir.
We don't know that. They might be. What a lovely couple they seem.
Lovely couple. Jolly.
Very jolly.
I'm just saying they're jolly. They seem jolly.
I know, you're right. I picked up the paper when it said, the caption on the picture I saw said, it said, Mr. and Mrs. Weir, and then in brackets, a massive rollover. I thought, no need for that. So the Euro, they've won 161 million, is it, the Weirs?
Yeah, 161 million.
It's brilliant. I'll tell you what I love about it, is that they seem like, they're not, often, I don't know what it is, but people who win big money appear in the papers tend to be terrible people. Mm-hmm. Do you remember all those horrible lottery winners that were like...
Lotto louts.
Yeah.
People like that.
But they seem like a proper nice couple.
I like the fact they said they were not afraid of this money. I like that.
Yeah, they should be, though. I mean...
You said that when you once, didn't you, when you pushed the button?
Yeah, when I pressed the button on the National Lottery, I looked into camera and said, don't blame me if it ruins your life. I just wanted to wash my hands of the whole... It was like Pilot on the balcony. That's what it was like.
Very similar, actually.
It was, yeah. And they were calling out, oh, do Guinevere. Barabbas, release. There is no machine called Barabbas. That's the Israeli lottery show. I had a bit of a falling out with them about it. No, this couple, though, I mean, that thing, she said, I had a glass of white wine when we heard...
Well,
she said, I only normally have that at Christmas. And that's what worries me, is that life could be Christmas for these two now forever.
Already.
Are you suggesting it could all go at Central Reservation in Birmingham?
Well, but that's a bad reference to something from my private life. I just think that Christmas is a time of... I mean, when you just don't, you think, yes, I'll have another one of those, thank you very much. I'll work it off in January.
Yeah.
And, of course, if January... isn't coming. I worry for these two, 'cause they're a nice couple, and I want to put this in the nicest possible way. They look like they enjoy their food. No, I think they do, and I think I know I'm being nice about it. I'm just saying it's a temptation. I think giving someone 161 million quid it's a big step. That's all I'm saying.
It's a lot of money. And
yes.
It does say in the paper they visit their fish and chip shop 3 times a week. It says it in the paper.
Is that what it's...
3 times a week.
So that's going to go to
7. Though...
It could be 7.
It's not going to stop at 3. Well, they look like people... It's only finance keeping them back from what
It did worry me they were having the wine and Dawn was breaking. Took me back to the 90s, that.
Is that her name, Dawn?
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
What else?
Well, there's been this... Have you been reading about Camilla had this...
Of course not.
Oh, why not? She's one of my favourite royals.
Oh, OK.
She had lunch with Kate Middleton.
That's a good question. Who's my favourite royal?
Who is your favourite royal?
I suppose it would be Princess Michael of Kent.
Oh, you're a fan of her work, are you?
Yeah, I am. She's the Catholic. She's the rogue Catholic in the team. Anyway, what's Camilla?
Yeah, so they had a sort of pre-bridal lunch.
Who?
Camilla and Kate Middleton.
Do they wear bridles? I'm not surprised. What did they have? Do they have nose bags on?
Did they have peanut butter sandwiches? Because maybe that's made it more look like
they weren't really talking. Vote for Mr. Camilla. Yes. I hope we're not doing jokes about the royal family being like horses. Have we come to this?
Exactly.
I mean, let's talk about Prince Charles's big ears, why don't we? The fact that he talks to plants. Let's sink that low into the comedy mire.
He has got quite big ears.
Have you never noticed that before?
Do you want to hear about the lunch?
Prince Charles can hear about it from here. Well, now I've done it, you see.
So they had this lunch, her and Kate Middleton, and it was this pre-wedding kind of bonding lunch, apparently. Well, I love the sound of it, Frank. It was a very posh restaurant.
Okay.
Camilla had a glass of red wine. It was in the date. No judgment here.
Still in the day.
Red wine in the date.
Yeah, that's all right.
And as I said, no judgment. That's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
But apparently, fellow diners, you can tell I got this from a tabloid, this story. Fellow diners overheard snippets of their conversation.
I bet they did.
Yeah. Imagine everyone. So, trumpets were mentioned at one point.
Trumpet?
Yes. Trumpets were mentioned at one point.
Yes, they said, well, we can't have trumpets, the ceiling is too high.
That's what someone was heard saying.
Okay. Carry on.
Then one of the best things was, Camilla was heard to say, "Can I give you a piece of advice?" But rather tantalisingly, we never heard the end of that sentence, Frank.
Oh.
So we don't know what the advice was.
There was a moment between Emily and I when I was...
How dare you?
Yeah, why bring that up now? It was that day she had the black bra, white top. I remember it. I was appalled. I didn't know where to look.
No, I was fiddling with a blind.
God, did she get a big... I think you got a big hello that morning.
When he came to this table.
I was fiddling with a blind and sort of rattling it around, and I did it for a while.
No, you were playing drums with a biro and we were about to go on air. Yeah, sorry, back to
I
you.
did it for a while, and Emily said, "Let me give you a piece of advice." And she didn't need to say anything else, so I stopped doing what I was doing. And it was probably that, like Kate was probably playing with the cutlery or something. And
what do you think she said there?
Maybe she said, "Let me give you a piece of advice." Oh, sorry, did I say advice? I meant bread. Maybe it's as simple as that.
We had a text in from Rob. Maybe they were eating jerk chicken, and she said, "Let me give you peas and rice."
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
So look, I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be like, the cynical comedian type about the royal wedding. I was working when the royal wedding was on.
Yeah.
I got home, my girlfriend had taped the ceremony, and then we had a row about the fact that she hadn't taped the balcony kiss. That's how I am about the royal wedding.
That's the best bit.
Yeah, I had a car waiting for me. I had to wait till 4 o'clock news on Sky and see the balcony kiss before I went.
Oh, you've got to see the kiss.
Oh God, both kisses. The first one, I felt it was one of those slightly dry lip kisses, and they said, "Let's do that again." I was a bit dry lipped.
They did. Well, Andrew Neil complained about it. He said exactly that. He said, "That wasn't long enough. They'll have to do that again." Horrible old uncle.
Oh, the idea of Andrew Neil as I'm going to go over there to Andrew Neil, our kissing expert. Horrible thought. All right,
You loved it, Frank?
Yes, I've watched. I didn't see it live, but I've seen all the highlights, and oh man, there's so much to talk about. I loved it.
What were your highlights?
Well, first of all, I think she's a complete babe, Kate. Can I say that? And she's a strong, independent, modern 21st century woman. I mean, look at that thing when he turned up when she was doing that, when she was coxing the rowing team for the charity rowing race, and he turned up after the split. And she jumped out the boat and swam right across.
That didn't really happen, Frank.
It happened in William and Kate the movie, and I'm seeing that as a kind of a documentary. That's one of the best Sunday afternoons I've ever spent. I was completely not bothered about the royal wedding. I watched William and Kate the movie, and I thought, now, these are my people. I know these people now. They're in my life.
No, you can't swim in rivers like that. You'd get Weil's disease. Or the rat's urine.
Oh, thanks for bringing us all down on a day like today. Weil's disease.
We're talking fairy tale wedding here, not rat urine. Oh, there was so much. I even got tense about the ring not quite going on.
Oh, that was a tense moment.
Even though I was watching a recording of it, and I knew if the ring hadn't gone, obviously there would have been just martial music on all the channels. It would have been like when the Queen Mother died if the ring hadn't gone on.
That was almost as tense as what will Gary Goldsmith be wearing.
Ah, Gary Goldsmith.
Who's Gary Goldsmith?
He's the black sheep.
I don't even think... Did you watch the royal wedding?
Yes, I did. I didn't see Gary Goldsmith. They weren't wearing name badges. They should have been. That would have been...
Am I right in saying that Prince William had the wrong hat on for that uniform?
Well, he had a sort of... Pete Doherty back in the day. Red military jacket.
Everything was like red, and yeah, exactly. And then he had like a black... It was like he'd maybe stopped off for a cup of tea at London Zoo. One of the keepers had come in for a cup of tea, put his hat down on the same table. I imagine at about midday at London Zoo, someone was saying, "Bill, how come you're wearing the red hat?" And he said, "What? Oh, blimey, how has that occurred?" Yeah,
but David Beckham made a protocol mistake as well, because he put his OBE on the wrong lapel, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
I
Come
didn't-
on, we've all done it.
I didn't mind though because oh my god, how good looking Frank! I felt sick. He was so good. He looks CGI now. He's so good looking, and it's
Bex.
yes. I felt even when you said the name, I felt like I was all overcome.
I've gone off Bex since he's become some mindless puppet for the FA.
You've gone off him since he got so good looking. Jealous much?
It's always been.
No, he's got more ridiculous.
I liked him when he sort of did stuff like, played proper football. That's what I like.
No, I don't care
And
about
also, Prince William, he had Spurs on in Westminster Abbey.
Yes, I noticed
Spurs.
that.
There was
Football
no,
Harry
team.
had them as
Are we
well.
still talking
he
football?
had Spurs on. He had,
Yeah.
Really?
proper spinning. I imagine him at the party, a bit drunk, 11:30 at night, slicing pizza with his heels.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
So, Posh and Bex are having another baby.
Oh, God, have you just heard?
Exciting.
You got a text.
No, I thought what I liked about she said in the paper a while ago that they're having another baby, and she said that chances of having a girl, she thought at this stage, chances of having a girl were slim. I thought, wow, even her chances are slim.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
And
in her language.
the girl will certainly be slim.
Yes.
Well, but it's good news, obviously.
Yeah, lovely
Yeah.
news. And is it Romeo Beckham? Was just
Yeah.
he was just voted 26th best dressed man in the GQ.
Man?
Yeah,
Ah.
He's very stylish though.
is he?
He's got a strong kind of signature look.
What is his
What
signature
is-
look?
He often wears a waistcoat, which I like.
What, just a waistcoat? Like a top cap? Yeah. Does he? He wears a waistcoat. Oh, that is... Oh, I hate that. That's child at wedding, isn't it? The brocade waistcoat on the child thinking, oh, we've dressed him up for that. And they just look like when the Victorians used to put dogs in suits. Looks like that.
I did see some celebrity's child in Hello magazine once with a baby grow tuxedo, which was quite gross as well. But yeah, so he wears sort of.
I watched that Essex. What's it called?
Oh, the Only Way is Essex.
Only Way is Essex, and they'd got a baby girl, and on her baby grow it said "future footballer's wife."
Did it say that?
Yeah,
Wow.
I love it when people just become parodies of themselves.
Yeah, so he wears a waistcoat, a black skinny jean. He sometimes rocks a scarf as well, and he's got great hair.
Oh God, I don't think kids should be. I wore short trousers till I was 11,
Right.
and well, actually, come to think of it, mainly as a kid, I wore a cowboy outfit for, I'd say, the first 6 or 7 years of my life. I mean,
I didn't know
couldn't-
you were quite that old.
Yeah, I-
come back to the
Yeah,
old
yeah.
West Midlands.
I was in Arizona in the 1860s. Yeah. Oh yeah. We used to see Wild Bill on his way to work in the morning.
Did you
Regular as
genuinely?
clockwork.
Did you genuinely think? Would you just put that on as your clothes
Yeah,
every day?
that was my clothes.
Didn't an adult stop you?
No, I think it was just accepted then. I didn't have that many clothes. It would stop me wearing out the other things. So I had a cowboy outfit until I was like 9, and then. As I've mentioned on the show before, my mum made me a Batman outfit. So
Don't! I can't bear the poignancy of that. With is that the wellies one?
yeah, that's right.
Oh, we had wellies.
So I essentially,
Jeans.
swimming trunks over jeans.
Oh, I can't bear it.
And the grey jumper with the. But I essentially wore fancy dress until I was 11. So Romeo Beckham with his skinny jeans, and it's got skinny jeans, I suppose. There's no question. What's the big story of the week? Peter the Wild. Peter the Wild. You probably know more about this than I do. He was
I'm
owned by.
quite
He was
obsessed
owned.
by him.
I said it. I went straight in. He was owned by George the First.
He was.
Have you got? We got the story. Have you got the story there?
Yeah.
Ken?
Yes.
Who was Peter the Wild? Briefly.
Peter the Wild was a child that they found in the woods.
He was a
in Hamlin.
child savage.
Yes, he was a child.
Oh, I love a child savage.
They found him in
they're still they recur in the news, but they're thin on the ground. The
Yeah.
child. And nowadays they're always in
because they do a lot of
cobblers.
running.
Yeah.
But this guy was in a forest. He was like, I imagine he looked like one of the Sylvanian families figures.
He had a big head of hair.
Did he?
They've got a picture of him because they have found a painting of him, and he looks a little bit like James Harries.
Oh, James Harris, the boy who did the antiques thing.
Oh, the
Yeah.
whole antiques boy.
My adversary of old, my former nemesis. Yeah, because I was on a Terry Wogan show, and I had a different. He was only about 10, I think.
Yeah.
James Harris,
You had
but he
a
was
dispute.
haughty in the extreme.
Very haughty.
He had a little Lord Fauntleroy element to
He
him.
was almost hoity, wasn't he?
Yeah, all he needed was the blue velvet catsuit. I know it collects the bits, but it does lovely things with the light.
Well, Peter the Wild looks a bit like him and a bit like an ex-boyfriend of mine, who you both know.
Yes.
Okay.
But we can't possibly
we
name.
can't say.
There is quite a well-known celebrity.
I will...
I'm not going to name. I'm not going to give any
Lou
hints.
Reed?
No, he wasn't an ex-boyfriend of mine.
No. Oh, I mean, no, I just he looks a bit...
So
But
anyway-
it's in a way, it's a terrible phrase,
Bob Dylan.
isn't it?
The Charles Savage. Or the pet.
Now, the fact that he was... I'm just reading it there. He was known for his refreshing lack of ceremony, Peter the Wild.
Does that mean he went to the bathroom on the dining table?
I think it's that kind of thing. But I love the idea. Make a great catchphrase, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I know what you're thinking. You're all commenting on my refreshing lack of ceremony. I can imagine
Well,
it.
Frankie wouldn't have said that because he couldn't speak very much. He could say Peter and he could say George, but they put
That'd
a
do it,
little
wouldn't
leather collar on him.
Was he allowed to call King George I George?
Yes, he loved him. He was his pet. He absolutely loved him.
The leather collar, that's wrong.
He
Isn't
had
that wrong?
He was very happy. He lived in an old age. He was very happy in
On
court.
what, on a lead, he was happy. They didn't even have the extendables in those days. He was constantly under your feet. You know when they go under your feet, the dogs thing. Not that he was a... Poor
No, but he
Peter.
got to become a celebrity. There was a figure of him in the local waxworks.
Was there?
Yeah.
Something with the royal family. I don't know. I was at Clarence House the other bit, because you may remember, with
Yeah.
Prince Charles. And he was using Linda Lusardi as a piano stool. He played quite beautifully, actually, but she was kneeling side on with her legs at the base end of the keyboard.
Yeah.
And he knelt on. He sat on her, and she just in her bra and pants. And when he played the theme tune from Pop Black, you know. But when he went to the big bass, doom 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 doom, he leaned across, and I could sense the pressure on the spinal cord. I could see that she was trembling at the forearm. I thought, if Linda collapses, she'll be out of favour at the court. Thank God she held on. I saw her later, still in the bra and pants. You could see the marks of a cavalry twill on her back where he twisted as he played. There's something about the royals and the way they want to use people. I just don't get it. He seemed a nice bloke in every other respect. Still, Linda's glad of the work.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
Right, we've had an email in this week.
Oh.
Here's two of my recent food-related idiotic eureka moments.
Now, I have to explain, because we do have occasionally new listeners hang around. A lot of them are still listening this far into the show. And an idiotic eureka moment, something we've had on the show for ages, it's when you suddenly realise, after ages, you suddenly get a joke or a pun or some sort of... The example, like the BT adverts, a woman called BT used to advertise BT.
More
It took me over a year to get that reference.
I realised last year that The Good Life was a pun on Barbara and Tom Good's name. I didn't know that.
In fact, I had one this week.
How was it?
There's a if you walk down Bloomsbury in London, you know London.
Yeah. I like the Samuel Pepys beginning.
Yeah, there's a left-wing bookshop, and it's called Bookmarks.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, and it only just struck me for the first time this week.
Oh,
Marks.
yes!
But it's Marks.
Oh, they're not worried about minor details like that.
Yeah, but that's the first time, and it's the first time it's ever struck me that Bookmarks. You with me, Alan? You're looking confused.
I am, but I just wonder why they didn't go with the X.
No, exactly. Well, the
wrong
one
with these
that the left-wing garage down the road is called Skid Marks with an X. I got that immediately. I don't. Yeah, they slipped up there. And then the fascist bookshop, it's down the road, which is called Book Hitler, which is not a clever pun, but I got it. I got it immediately. Now go on. Carry on.
So this
Oh, then there's the the left-wing
There
supplier
we go.
of duvet covers, sheets and pillowcases. Bed Lenin.
Oh, that's good, Frank.
Someone will open that shop.
895, Russian walking and winter sports, Trotskys.
Trotskys.
Yes.
Trot, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one that's just arrived. Communist temping agency, Office Engels. That's good.
Oh, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it like that.
Can I continue with the email from Anon?
Yes, please.
Dear Frank, Emily and Alan, here's two of my recent food-related idiotic eureka moments. That's what we were explaining earlier. I bit into an apple saying to my friend, "This tastes like cider."
Excellent.
And, whilst eating my Sunday dinner, I was thinking I should put the slice of beef in some bread, as it tasted like a burger. I'm revising for my A-levels at the moment. Bye.
Don't bother.
Best of luck.
That's my advice.
Can I
Sounds
just
to me
say,
like-
I love bye as well. Sounded quite dramatic, like the relationship was ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sounds to me like his apple was on the turn.
Yeah.
If he's getting cider whiff from it. That's great that he thought he'd invented a burger by putting beef in the middle of bread.
What I'd be really impressed by now is if someone texts in and said, I was eating a pear last week, and I said to a friend, this tastes like perry. Because perry is something that seems to have disappeared. No one drinks perry anymore.
And people call it pear cider now, don't they? Just,
Do they?
Yeah.
They don't call it perry.
It's called, like, conversationally, people say, "Oh, I'll have that pear cider."
I'll be frank with you, this is the first conversation I've had about perry in any of its manifestations for about 10 years. And I'm enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
They call it commercial pear cider.
I was feared that it might go, well, shall we say pear-shaped?
Frank, 964, Cuban left-wing petroleum company, Castro Loyal.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
Oh, tres nominación. We should explain, actually. We can't. And this thing about casually referring to our nominations as if everybody knows about them, but we are excited about it. It is normally the way with people who work in the entertainment industry to be very blasé about when you get, say, oh, it's not what it's about. It's not about awards, which is exactly what I would have been saying if I'd received no nominations, of course. But I'm going to let you into a terrible, terrible secret. Is I listened to the nominations being announced live on the internet.
Did you?
And I sat, because I didn't know how many I was up for, I sat with a biro and a sheet of A4. So I could write them down. How tragic! How terribly tragic!
That is tragic.
So I'm gonna up my tragedy.
Okay.
Right? I'm gonna up my tragedy.
Wow, how are you gonna do that?
The next day, I looked at the Chortle website, which is the big comedy website in this country. Very good, very informative. And it said, a clever pun. It said Frank Skinner, head of the herd. H-E-A-R-D, very clever. And it said Frank Skinner received 2 nominations for Sony. And I got my manager to phone them up to correct it. Have I become this monster?
No, you've always been the monster.
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, I've just got more open about it. Yeah.
Oh, Frank. Well, no, I think it shows you in a good light that you confess.
Well, also, I think, it is exciting, and why not get excited about it? I mean, tres nominación.
I'm going to see Tony Hadley again. That's a bonus.
Yeah, well, there you go. Who knows whose table? Not Ronnie Wood is nominated, my absolute fellow. Apparently he won't have a table. Because he's the Crow Man. The Crow Man. He wants to be seated atop a gibbet in the corner of the room in sinister lighting. That's what he's said.
Did you read
a gibbet?
Ronnie Wood, Frank, said, I'm really excited about it, and I've set all my alarms to make sure I get there. It's 8 p.m.
I know, but I imagine he sleeps by day, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I've never really heard. I've only heard the trailers for Ronnie Wood's show. Vote for Ronnie Wood, by the way. You can vote for him. He's up for the Rising Star.
Yeah, we've got to help out these young
He's still rising. Can you believe that? I'd have thought he'd gone into black hole territory.
Well, the Crow Man.
Yeah, he's. There was that trailer. Remember that trailer we used to play when he says, "Yeah, I met Jimi Hendrix on the stairs the night he died," and I said, "Look after yourself." That was that's the effect Ronnie's advice. But he must be out of his Jimi Hendrix anecdotes. That was a year ago.
Surely.
Oh, no, it's sort of...
You can make him up, though, you know.
No, but yeah, I met Tanita Tikaram in Clinton Cards, and she was saying, "Oh, Ronnie's a bit low on the anecdotes. Put a song on."
We had a text last week from Julie, who gave a very good celebrity anecdote.
Oh yeah, what was that one?
She said, "I bumped into Bonnie Tyler in town. She was trying to find somewhere for a coffee. I suggested Starbucks or Costa, but she was holding on for a Nero."
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
So, Frank, I'd like to go nativity here on you.
Oh,
There's some rather surprising news out this week. Obviously, it's the season for nativity
it
plays.
certainly is.
For those who remember to have children. And apparently, Joseph and Mary, which you would say traditionally are always the most coveted roles,
Yeah.
one would assume,
Yes.
in the goodies.
Oh God, yeah.
The
And-
leads.
But in hindsight, they did a survey, and most people would actually rather play. It said it referred to him as the evil innkeeper.
Why is he evil?
Or Herod.
It's not
He's
evil.
not even just a very good hotelier because he
He found additional accommodation.
doesn't have any spare rooms,
Yeah.
but he makes
Exactly.
an effort for them.
Like all hoteliers,
improvised.
he's a slave to availability. He
They
can't,
didn't book in advance, they turn up.
he can't
On the
create a room
busiest-
out of nothing.
On the busiest nights of the year, we want a room because she's pregnant.
You get these people at reception. I hear people saying, "Well, you must have at least one room."
Oh, no, we've got a finite number of rooms.
The idea that I would say I don't have any rooms if I've got at least one room somewhere.
We're not Jesus. And she went,
Oh, well,
Well-
they weren't. Well, she was sort of slightly
Particularly
Jesus.
during a national census time. We know how busy hotels get around that time.
It's like booking a hotel in the Olympics on the day of the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Have you got a room? No.
Do you
But
think
the
he
evil
said,
innkeeper.
It's absolutely crammed. It's the birth of Jesus this week. They've come from all over. There's 3 blokes turned up here earlier trying to get a room. They were prepared to share.
Funny aftershave they're wearing.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, No, they described him in the Telegraph, the innkeeper, as one of the darker good time characters.
What?
Where was he good time? He was working on Christmas night.
He's just answering the door and saying, I've got no room left because it's full to capacity. There's fire regulations.
There's nothing good time about somebody working all through the
It's got a
holidays.
business.
Gave him a bit of old straw. I've slept on worse, I tell you. Were you in the nativity play, Frank?
Can I say I had one of my most traumatic experiences of my entire life in a nativity play?
Oh, no.
I was head shepherd. And not Ed Shepherd,
No.
who sounds like somebody who reads the local news.
I was news reporter Ed Shepherd reporting on the birth of Christ.
No, I was head shepherd, and Miss Knight, the headmistress, said, "Right, gather around the baby Jesus." Well, I was the head shepherd, so they were following me. Well, the baby Jesus hadn't been placed in the manger at that point. He was in a crisp box at the back of the stage. So I went and knelt at the crisp box, and my other shepherds knelt with me. She went absolutely ballistic. I mean, she went crazy. It was a simple mistake. I was following orders.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
A literal child.
Yeah, but there was the baby Jesus, you know. And
Was it a doll?
it was a doll, yeah. It wasn't the real baby. They wouldn't
Remember,
have put-
sometimes it was just swaddled.
No,
swaddled
this was a doll
clothing.
with a hint of cheese and onion. But anyway, she came on stage and she grabbed me by my ankle and then raised her hand up,
didn't.
and I swung upside down. And this is a bit of a
Strong woman.
difficult thing to explain. I was tiny. I was only like 5. And I swung round and my hand went right up her skirt. And it was... I can't tell you. I felt strange tremors go through me as if I'd met... Like I imagine when they opened Tutankhamun's tomb and the smell of the ancients rose up. But I really felt like I'd done something bad. Because at that age I wasn't
Well,
quite
you
sure what it
had.
was. Yeah, but I was a victim of gravity.
Frank Skinner. Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
I've got the clock set up. That's
Oh,
the big news of the
Frank.
week.
Oh, the John Wayne alarm clock.
Well, cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo clock.
So we
I'm
bought
not
this.
aware of any alarm facility
Is
on
it
it.
We should
strictly a
explain,
cuckoo clock
Frank.
Because
We should
Sorry.
explain, shouldn't we?
Sorry,
Just a
I'll-
bit of back refing here.
Well, you're going to give the backstory on the John
Yes.
Wayne cuckoo
It's
clock.
not a lengthy backstory. All I'm saying
Well.
is we.
You say that. Go on.
No, I'll just tell some of our listeners who may not know. We being the team, bought Frank a John Wayne cuckoo clock for his birthday. There you go.
It was something I'd seen in one of those magazines that you get in the free tabloids at the weekend. We've all looked at them, plate with a cat on
Yeah.
and stuff
Crying
like that.
Baby Amy.
Yeah,
Weeks-
exactly.
Yeah.
you have the option to pay in instalments
Yeah,
over time if
all
it's
that.
too much of a burden.
By the way, did you pay cash or did you pay in
Well,
instalments?
why
for
do you think it
cuckoo
was a
clock?
bit late? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it was a bit of a... You were
Yeah.
the first ever cash buy for one of those things. I spoke to our Nora this week. It's her birthday. 70 this week, would you believe it? God bless her. And she said to me, I said, we were talking, and suddenly in the background... and she said, what was that? I said, that was the John Wayne cuckoo clock. She said, our Amanda said she wanted one of those.
No.
Yeah.
You actually know someone who wants one of those.
Exactly. They were on the verge of purchase. I said, it's a bit plasticky, I'll be honest with you, but I love it.
Who's our Amanda? Is she friends with our Trish, your pretend sister?
No, she exists. Our Amanda is my niece.
Oh, okay.
I
Fine.
finally found my niece.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so anyway, it's a beautiful thing, the John Wayne alarm clock. One of the first things I noticed that really excited me is I set it up and I was waiting for the hour.
Oh,
Because it only goes on the hour, it's not a quarter horse.
yeah.
And I sat there and it went... and I thought, oh no, that's not... I don't like... That can't be right. I thought, I had a look, I thought maybe a bit of polystyrene left in the throat.
Or Daisy's gone down the market to get it. That's what's happened.
Rubbish. So anyway, then I spotted a volume on it. So I
Thank
cranked
goodness.
it up.
Right.
The next time it went, oh my God. I mean, it was like, I felt like that suffragette that ran in front of the King's Hall. It was absolutely changed the whole thing. So what happens is, before it goes, you hear like these chains.
It's all got a bit
And then-
Kenko.
Then the thing goes. John Wayne, he stands at the bottom, he lights up behind
There's a
some-
little John Wayne figurine.
Yeah,
isn't
he
there?
doesn't come out, though.
Well, that's not what I've heard.
Well, not on my clock. He lights up, so he's silhouetted in a saloon.
Oh, I love that he's silhouetted. That's so
but,
romantic.
But the saloon itself is, it's strangely dark. It's almost like John Wayne owned a saloon. Everyone had left, and he's just clearing up at the end of the night
Yeah.
on his own.
Having a nightcap.
And suddenly the horse turns up. It's like he's heard the horse, and he's come out to see what spooked him. Anyway. And then
The
Does
passage
the horse
of
go
time.
into the saloon then? It's like my big fat
No.
gypsy wedding.
it has, it has a separate door,
Okay,
but
okay.
it also looks like a saloon door.
Okay.
it looks like it might be coming into the living quarters after a night out.
But Frank, has it been a welcome addition to your life, the clock?
Oh, it's been brilliant.
Do you like
I love it. I get it always. I'm still surprised by it. That's what I like. It's still when it happens, I'd kind of forgotten it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
Now.
Now.
There's been an email.
Oh, it's kind of it. No.
An email from James Oakes, which says, "Hello, Frank. The delightful Emily, obviously, is not here at the moment, and the cockerel. Inspired by Frank's oft-mentioned comment that Winton's Wonderland was only commissioned for the title, and the cockerel bringing up Desperate Scousewives 2 weeks ago."
Can I point out before we go on that I wasn't after Dale Winton in a savage way here. I just said that some TV shows only get made because they've got a pun in the title.
Yeah.
That is my
Yeah,
belief.
good title, commission.
Yeah, exactly.
So some of my
Yeah.
work, some
Said
of
with
my
a little
work week,
bitterness, I thought, there by Laura Solon.
some of his work week was reallocated to the creation of the following TV show ideas.
Okay, so James has come up with
Yeah, for you, well,
Oh.
and for all of your team. Saints and Skinner. Frank tells the stories behind some of his favourite saints, or
I could do that.
some of his favourite saints. Next one, Skinner's Thinners. Frank meets slimming champions and learns some of their tricks of the trade, or it's a 1940s themed sitcom with Frank as a lovable, roguish door-to-door solvent salesman.
Both could be made.
Both are good.
Easily.
Forest of Dean, a documentary charting the trials and tribulations as Emily becomes the new chairperson of Nottingham Forest FC.
Now that would work, because I've always thought Emily is a bit like Karen Brady. She has that look about her.
All right, well, I didn't know if that was a reference to her looking a bit like Nigel Clough as well.
Oh yeah, of
That
course.
has been pointed out. hasn't it?
Yeah, mainly by her. to be
Yes,
fair.
indeed.
And then the last one is The Cockerel Crows, a morning TV show with Alan as the main host, or a sitcom based on Alan's attempts to keep afloat a struggling pet shop, specialising in corvids. Lovely use of the word corvid. there.
Corvids. I am enjoying that. Yes, truly.
Many points allocated for the use of
I've
corvids
got
there.
one for you, Frank.
Go on.
Skinner his teeth. Frank tries to avoid custodial sentences
Oh,
for
right.
minor criminal offences.
Yeah.
And he gets away with things by the skin of his teeth.
I thought it was
technicality.
going to be some terrible thing about my horrible yellow teeth. I've got one here for you, and it's a documentary about your life, Laura.
Right.
But it's one of the it's
quite short.
It's presented by David Soul, and it's called Solon.
That's done. I think that's...
Yeah, I think that'd be
I
great.
thought of a good one for you as
Yeah.
well,
Oh.
called Solon Farewell, where a suicidal Laura Solon goes around saying goodbye to everyone in her life.
Not much of a second
No,
series
no.
potential. eh?
No, well, the end of the first series is a one-way flight to Switzerland, that's it. It's done.
Oh.
And one for me was maybe me investigating metals called aluminium. What do you think of that?
That's absolutely sensational.
One for Emily could be Dean and Not Heard, where she either works as a mime artist or spends a week as a Victorian child.
Well, the idea of her not speaking much, I find slightly surprising. I thought we could have Alan Cochrane investigates American politics, and he spends the whole thing, in Washington talking to politicians and stuff, and it's called ACDC.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.